Oh, good evening, everybody. Yes, we've got plenty of lively debates, and I promise we'll have a few laughs along the way as well. Between now and 9 o'clock, we'll discuss what it means to be English on the eve of St George's Day. I'm asking why patriotism now has become a bit of a dirty thing. I don't think it should be. And also, I'll be asking you why you're not just proud to be English, because we cover the whole of Britain here, why you're proud to be British. Anyway, I'll also speak to a relationship expert about flirting and how not to do it, although to be fair, I think I've written the book on that. And we'll have all your favourite regular features, including the latest edition of Challenge Christys. Yes, there we go. So it's Judo this week, ladies and gentlemen, and I think we can all guess how it went. Not well for me. I have been in a world of pain, frankly, ever since, and I think I now need an operation on my knee. Also, that lad actively didn't like me, which made things a lot worse. He said it. He said it at the time. He said, "I don't like you," and then said the word mate, which I thought was... I couldn't figure it out. And then before I knew it, I was on the canvas. Anyway, this week I've been getting thrown about by an Olympian. There you go, you see. And I am still very much feeling the effects, both emotionally and physically. And your dog of the week is Patch. Look at Patch. I wonder how they came up with that name, eh? He's a 5-year-old bull lurcher. A bull lurcher? Gosh, I wonder which one... No, not for now. Could you offer Patch his forever home? And in an unrelated note to Patch, we're also going to talk about sex toys. The bottomless brunch that went wrong for one woman and a man called My Cock Small. Yep, there we go. Right, but first, it's the news. It's the very highbrow news with the wonderful Ray Addison. Sorry, Ray.
It's all right, Patrick, I'm used to it. I'm Ray Addison in the GB newsroom. Here's the latest. Madeleine McCann's parents have welcomed the news that a formal suspect has been named in her disappearance. Portuguese authorities are investigating 44-year-old convicted sex offender Christian Bruckner in connection with the case. Kate and Jerry McCann say even if the possibility is slim, they have not given up hope that Madeleine is still alive. The 3-year-old was taken from her hotel room during a family holiday in Praia da Luz in 2007. The Prime Minister is confident he'll still be in his job later this year and says the public wants the government to focus on other issues. However, Conservative MP Tobias Ellwood says there's an absence of discipline and leadership in Downing Street. MPs have ordered an investigation into whether the Prime Minister misled Parliament over COVID breaches. Boris Johnson has announced that the British Embassy in Kiev will reopen next week. The UK temporarily relocated its consulate to Lviv in February, days before Russia invaded Ukraine. The Prime Minister says the decision follows the extraordinary fortitude of President Zelensky and the Ukrainian people. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is visiting President Putin in Moscow on Monday. It comes after the UN said there's growing evidence of war crimes, with Russian troops indiscriminately bombing populated areas, killing civilians and destroying hospitals. Meanwhile, the World Bank estimates that the war in Ukraine has caused nearly £47 billion worth of damage to buildings. President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country needs £5.4 billion a month to make up for economic losses.
The funds from the war tax should be used to help Ukraine, to rebuild everything that Russia has destroyed in the war. And if this tax is applied to other aggressors, the funds should be directed to the victims of the war.
President Macron says the choice facing French voters is similar to when US voters elected Donald Trump. Earlier, his opponent, Marine Le Pen, was out campaigning in the north of the country. She says the public must choose between Macron or France. President Macron accuses Miss Le Pen of being far-right and says her solutions are not viable. Opinion polls currently put Mr Macron ahead on over 55% of the vote. Coronavirus infection levels have fallen across the UK for the first time this year. The figures from the Office for National Statistics suggest that the recent surge in the Omicron BA2 variant has now peaked. Well, on TV, online and on DAB+ radio, this is GB News. Now let's get back to Patrick.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Feast. Thank you, everyone who's tuning in. I think you might have heard a bit of laughter before. I have got a panel with me, but I'll be introducing them a little bit later on. Let's get stuck in, shall we? It's St. George's Day tomorrow, and it got me thinking, why has patriotism become such a dirty word? Everywhere you go abroad, you'll see the national flag flying high, whether it's France, Spain, America. Their national flag is always hoisted. But when England were in the semi-final of the World Cup, I can remember Theresa May saying she wasn't sure about whether or not she wanted to fly the St George's flag above 10 Downing Street. The kind of absolutely pathetic indecision you'd expect from an even more pathetic Prime Minister who claimed to love this country despite clearly never believing that we could succeed as an independent nation. England specifically, I find bizarre. People rarely hoist the St George's flag, and then when they do, all too often, people just assume they're massively racist. Yet go north of the border to Scotland and the saltire is everywhere. Wales, you can't move for dragons in Wales, but enough about some of the women. The flag is everywhere as well. But Britain as a whole, I think, struggles with this. I think many people feel shy about saying they're proud to be British. We've allowed the woke BBC brigade to hijack our national identity. We can't say anything good now about our great country without highlighting some historic injustice. We can't say Britain is great without also acknowledging that there are some historic events that we shouldn't be too proud of. Why? You don't apply that kind of logic to anything else. If my great-great-great-grandfather had an affair, do I have to apologise to my missus about that now? No, of course I don't. Just look at what's going on in Ukraine right now. We've got a country with nothing like the calibre of history that Britain is fighting for its national identity. Sorry, Ukrainians, but it's kind of true. Everywhere I look, at the moment, over here, I see a Ukrainian flag. There's one in my local park. People are driving around with Ukrainian bumper stickers. It's presumably just a matter of time before Zelensky's face appears on T-shirts like an Eastern European Che Guevara. And yet our flag is very rarely seen. In fact, the EU flag is more common, which is probably testament to how many beret-wearing Sadaks there are. But why did people prefer the EU? I don't think it was to do with open borders, which might as well still exist given what's going on in the Channel, or about the values that the EU stands for. I mean, those values are a complete sham. There's nothing kind, benevolent, loving and democratic about an unelected bunch of bureaucrats on the take from the public purse, stealing vaccines destined for vulnerable Brits, or being too obsessed with Russian gas to actually prevent massacres and systemic rape in Ukraine. No, I think they preferred the EU because they wanted to devolve the responsibility for the running of their country to someone else, either out of laziness or out of a lack of faith. A lack of faith in British capacity and capability. Well, I'm sure that will come as a great shock to the Bletchley Park codebreakers, Alan Turing in particular. In fact, when you think about it, we have a huge amount to be proud of. The war, the other war, the war after that, but not the war after that, to be fair. This tiny little island used to own most of the world. Much of the world speaks English. We punch well above our weight in sports. We've got the longest-serving living monarch. It's just a shame her grandson's a simpering ginger idiot, and one of her sons was mates with Epstein. We've produced some of the world's greatest ever comedians. In fact, two of them are joining me here tonight. We've produced some of the world's best music and James Blunt. On a sunny day, our countryside looks like a patchwork quilt of resplendent loveliness. We've got the great British boozer, real ale, roast, flipping dinners. We've got it all. The absolute lot of it. I love going on holiday and seeing the world, but I'm always very happy to come back to Britain. The best country in the world. And you know what? If you're not happy here, maybe the problem is you and not this country. And, well, you know where the nearest airport is. Right, OK, you can get in touch with me, GBViews at gbnews.uk. And just on this issue, before I bring in my wonderful panel, who've been sitting here diligently listening to me waffle on now for some time, I am joined by the legend himself, Aman Begal, who is the founding chairman of Global Britain UK and describes himself as a proud British Indian good man. Look, maybe I was being a little bit facetious there, but are you concerned that we're not patriotic enough in Britain, certainly in England anyway?
Well, I think, look, I think for far too long, the UK has been in the grips of what I refer to as the left dwellers, who just love hating Britain. Because, as you were saying, they simply don't have the faith in this great country. Whereas the opposite is true of people like me, people who have made this country their home, immigrants, to the tune of what? Nearly 500,000 every year, who are choosing happily and willingly to make this country their home. Because why? Because this green and pleasant land is a land of opportunity. It's a land of fairness. It's a land that gives you the best possible opportunity to work, play, and live and raise a family.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the things that you think are best about Britain for you? What stands out for you? What are you proud of?
Well, look, I grew up in India as a young boy, and some of the things I found very similar and shared here in the UK were the sense of freedom, sense of liberty, the democracy, the fact that if you have the aspiration, you can rise up from the bottom and rise to the top. And this is the magnet that this country has, and that what drives so many people to come and make this their home.
You think people love to hate Britain? I mean, it really winds me up, to be honest with you. It really does bother me, actually. It makes me very angry. Why do you think that so many people here who've maybe even been born here, let alone moved here potentially, who have, for all intents and purposes, a good life, a nice quality of life in this country, why do you think they love to hate us?
Well, I think it boils down to a lack of gratitude. And I think that is prevalent in wider society as a feature that is lacking in amongst so many people. Gratitude for the opportunities and the safety and security and the environment that this country provides, I think, is lacking in so many people. And it's the same in other places as well. Places, for example, in America, you look at some of the Marxist left in America who hate the country that has given the world so much, that provides them with a land of opportunity and endless aspiration. But they hate it. Why? Because they lack a sense of gratitude and humility, that the privilege of being born or being a citizen of such a country.
Look, you said you were brought up in India, and it's a really interesting point, this. I'd be really grateful for your opinion on this. I think it would add real value to this discussion, actually, which is that a lot of people go on about Britain's colonial past and some undoubted wrongs and injustices that took place there. There's no denying that, right? But how do you feel about that? You are from a quote-unquote former colonial country, as it were. I hope you don't mind me saying that. Do you think that Britain needs to apologise for all of its stuff? Can we appreciate Britain today without also having to say sorry all the time for things we've done in the past?
Look, there is no doubt, as you say, there are many various things that the UK got wrong in the past, but that is the past. We saw today Prime Minister Boris Johnson in New Delhi, meeting with Prime Minister Modi, and people have to realize, especially the left, that India today, for example, is a country that is confident, that is standing on its own 2 feet. It's a civilizational country. Yes, it had, 200 odd years of British rule, but that is not the only thing that defines it. What defines it is the resilience of its people, how they are turning it into a $5 trillion economy and standing on their own 2 feet. It's a confident country. It is not looking for apologies for things that might have happened 300, 200 years ago. Absolutely.
Hey, look, I tell you what, Aman, you make me proud to be British, I must say. Thank you very, very much. Great to have you on the show. Keep up all of the good work. And appreciate you devoting your Friday evening to us. We'll chat soon. That was Aman Begal there, the founding chairman of Global Britain UK, and also as well, clearly, is a proud British Indian. Right, tonight, on my panel, we have an absolute treat for you. Back by popular demand. This is the best panel that we've had so far, I think. It's Dave Shorter. Here he is. Go on. Over there. There he is. And the one and only Leo Curse. Hey.
Yes.
I tell you what, we're up for it tonight, lads, aren't we?
Yeah.
Are you proud to be British?
Yeah, I am proud to be British. More proud to be British than I am Scottish, to be honest. Yeah, I think so. I don't like what the SNP have done to Scotland. When we talk about patriotism, the SNP is a nationalist party. I mean, for some reason, we recognise the perils of nationalism in the British National Party, but everybody thinks it's benign in the Scottish National Party. But no, they're a nationalist party. They use this sort of xenophobic fervour to whip up resentment against England and against the rest of Britain. I think it's really divisive and really dangerous. And it's a shame that Scotland's become this parochial, inward-looking country when it used to run Britain. So many of our political leaders and through the military and our civil service, so many people, great engineers, were Scots.
Yeah. Dave, how do you feel about Britain?
Well, being a lefty woke karate, I couldn't think anything.
Watch it
But
burn.
you know what? I think there's something good in that because, you know, you were talking about the Americans, like, flying their flags. That's proper American, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think there is nothing more British than saying sorry for your national identity. I actually think that perpetuates it in quite a nice way. I actually wouldn't like Britain as much if they're like, yeah, we're the best. I quite like it. It's like, sorry.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
We'll wait our turn in the queue for the best country in the world. Basically.
Yeah, we're a nation of people of, like, yeah, like you say, fish and chips, roast dinners, Greggs, and yet we're still kind of like, oh, sorry. So I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I do as well. It does wind me up, to be honest with you, with this. But anyway, look, I want to hear what you think about this particular issue. You can email me, gbviews@gbnews.uk. Also tweet me @gbnews, and I will read out a selection of your comments throughout the evening. But next, we'll discuss this week's report into the use of stop and search. Hey, look, stop and search is a massively divisive issue. The debate on stop and search is almost as old as, well, stop and search, actually, to be fair. But the Independent Office for Police Conduct essentially found that, well, what we all know, right, which is that ethnic minorities tend to be, specifically black people really, tend to be stopped and searched more often than white people. But I'm asking, actually, hang on a minute, is that an implication of racism, or is that just the way things are? Are there other reasons for it? How do you feel about stop and search? Do you think it's racist? Do you think it's necessary? Don't be shy. By the way, I asked the public earlier about it as well. Patrick Christys here, back out and about for GB News. Now, stop and search. Yep, that debate's back in town again, isn't it? Some people say that it's an inherently racist thing because ethnic minorities are much more likely to get stopped and searched than white people, basically. However, we've got rampant knife crime, rampant violent crime, rampant drug dealing. So I want to know whether or not the British public thinks stop and search is a good thing.
It's a good thing, but it's the police are pick on black people too often.
You think?
Yes.
It's a tough trick, isn't it? Yeah,
it's very intrusive. I wouldn't like to be stopped and searched, personally, no.
Can I ask you, I'm not going to delve into your criminal history or otherwise, have either of you ever been stopped and searched?
No, I haven't, no.
I used to quite a lot, yeah.
You actually?
Oh, yeah, loads when I was younger. I had dreadlocks and a wispy beard and stuff.
What? So, well, that's important. So do you think they were stopping and searching you because of how you looked?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the point.
Yeah.
If there is any threat, it's probably a good thing. But if it's controllable thing, you know, because sometimes you can search without any proofs, any issues, and it can be like a power of authorized services, and it's not very good.
It can be, you know, depending on obviously the area you live in. You're going to get a lot of crime, a lot of activity happening in the area. So I think, I think it's a good idea to some degree, but I think it can be taken advantage of and overused a lot more than what it should be.
Not really. I mean, if they have like a really good reason to believe that,
really good reason.
Yeah, that someone like they see a knife or like a gun.
It just depends, I suppose, in case like people look suspicious and things, I suppose, in a way.
OK, well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the general consensus from the British public seems about as confused as most people are on this particular issue, which is that they think that, broadly speaking, stop and search is all right, but that it might be a bit racist. Anyway, we're going to have a massive debate on this when we come back after this very short break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going toe-to-toe. We're going head-to-head. Is stop and search racist?
Hello, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and you can join me every weekday 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr. Me and my panel will get stuck right into the day's events, and I can tell you, in fact, I can warn you, expect some robust debates, some strong opinions and perspectives from both sides of the fence. It's about you at home as well. I love to read out all of your comments, or at least as many as I can. So join me, Michelle Dewberry, Monday to Friday, 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr.
On radio, they call it the drive time slot, 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. as listeners head home. It's that part of the schedule when the dust of the day's events begin to clarify, and we try to make sense of it for you. Brazier is drive time for radio and TV. It's fast, it's punchy, it's opinionated, there's a Brazier angle and a little bit of levity.
That's the question. That's two questions, actually.
That's Brazier, Monday to Thursday, 4 till 6 on GB News.
Hello, I'm Patrick Christys.
And I'm Mercy Moroki.
Make sure that you join us Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. until midday, right here on GB News for To The Point.
We're not afraid to talk about the topics that matter to you or the big topics that always matter.
We cover absolutely everything, from the breaking political stories of the day to law and order, what's going on in the channel. We're not afraid to hold people to account.
We always make sure we include your views on our show.
Indeed, if you're thinking it, you can guarantee that we're saying it. So make sure you join the conversation with us, 10 a.m. until midday, Monday to Thursday, for To The Point on GB News.
I'm Dan Wootton. Join me Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 for the feistiest and most fun news debate on TV, where free speech reigns. I'll bring you a sharp take on the day's biggest stories, bombshell newsmaker interviews, and A-list guests. And I guarantee you, no spin, no bias, no censorship, and no reason to go to bed. That's Dan Wootton tonight, Monday to Thursdays from 9 on GB News.
Welcome back to Friday Night Feast. Now, a black teenager was stopped and searched 60 times, 60, in 2 years, the police watchdog has revealed. It's called for use of the intrusive powers to be overhauled. Well, last month, a black schoolgirl, of course, as well, as we all remember, was strip-searched by police at a school in Hackney, East London, after teachers claimed that they could smell marijuana on her. So, tonight we ask, is stop and search racist? Well, joining us at the moment is Ken Hines, who's the former chair of Haringate's independent stop and search monitoring group. Ken, thank you very much. Good to catch up with you again, my good man. Look, I want to have a proper discussion with you here, really, and get stuck into the meat and bones of this. A lot of people would say stop and search isn't racist, despite the fact that ethnic minorities are disproportionately searched. It just happens to be that they tend to be anyway, in areas with higher proportions of crime, for example, and therefore the police are only doing their job. How do you feel about that?
Well, I would beg to differ. I would say this to you. Stop and search came out of a racist law called the SUS law. The SUS law came out of something called the Vacancy Law, Vacancy Act, 1724. You can do your research on that. And because of the racist nature of it, they stopped that and it became stop and search in 1984. Now, personally, as I said, I'm not saying the police are racist, but what I'm saying is because of the nature of stop and search, the way that they have conducted themselves is primarily not fit for purpose. Now, quite simply this, you said they've got issues around knife crime. If we've got issues around knife crime, why are we using a law that targets the misuse of drugs? 7% of stop and search are under the misuse of drugs, not for drug dealing, but for personal possession. And primarily, cannabis is the drug of choice, what they stop and search you for. Cannabis is a Class B. What happened to Class A? Cocaine, heroin, and the likes, and the.
Stop and search for that, can't you? You can still, I think personally, one of the main reasons people get stopped and searched for cannabis as opposed to other drugs is because you can smell it more easily, right? And that seems to be one of the reasons why people will get stopped. You can't smell coke, can you? Really? Although that's ironic given what you do with it. But one does with it, of course. But do you think though, Ken? A lot of people
taking cocaine instead of marijuana.
Sorry, I missed the first part of that, Ken. Go on, what was it?
I'm trying to say to you, so what you're trying to say, that we should stop smoking weed and start taking cocaine because that way you can't be smelled. It's not intelligent policing.
No, I'm saying people probably shouldn't do drugs, but I think that's why the police tend to stop and search people more for the suspicion of cannabis than cocaine, because it's easier to detect. I think that seems to make sense for me. But a lot of people will be wondering, well, OK, what's the solution then, Ken? Because, we've got a rampant knife crime epidemic. Nothing seems to be working. If there were no police doing stop and search, surely more people would be walking around with knives.
I would say I beg to differ again, because we've got a knife crime situation going on, but yet less than 3% of the stop and search that the police are doing each month is targeting knife crime, and the police own figures says that in a month they stop and search 20,000 people and they may fine up to something like 300 knives. Now that's in a month. Now that works out to be something like 6 a week. And
Well,
for me,
six knives off the streets. Ken, you know what? Okay, and I do say this, and I will hold my hands up to this, Ken. You know, fair's fair. I have never been stopped and searched, right? So, you know, I'm not one of the... By the way, I do think that the teenager who was stopped and searched 60 times in 2 years does sound like a bit of a wrong one, to be fair. I don't understand how that happens, mate. But 60 times a heck of a lot. I mean, goodness me, where's he hanging out? But I've never been stopped. I would get stopped and searched. I would get stopped and searched if it meant that I felt the police were doing it for the wider good of society. So what's wrong with that?
I've been stopped and searched over 125 times, but that's over a 40-year period.
Yeah.
Okay? And now, don't get me wrong. When I was younger, I may have been active as a villain, but in my older age, I haven't been. But I get stopped and searched probably more often in my later, when I wasn't into crime than when I was into crime. Now, this young man who's been stopped and searched 60 times, it's quite clearly, I would question whether he's on what we call the gang matrix.
Yeah.
Because the gang matrix gives the police the permission to go ahead and repeatedly harass you because you're on the gang matrix.
Well, now, you don't wander onto the gang matrix, do you, Ken?
Now, personally, what I would say to you is that I believe that if you have been convicted of carrying knives or being involved in knives, then you should be targeted for stop and search to ensure that you're not a repeat offender of that nature. So I would be up for that. But what we're finding is we need more transparencies, we need accountability, and we need scrutiny. And all we need, above all, is professional policing. Now, what people complain about time and time again is the nature of the interaction of where that the police are not being professional, where the police are using sometimes racist terms and sometimes they're using inappropriate language.
The times that I have questioned the police's approach to race, for example, was not during the Black Lives Matter protest. I mean, they took the knee outside Downing Street. I mean, they were all white officers from what I could see. They took the knee outside Downing Street. The Black Lives Matter protests were allowed to take place unabated. I have seen the police make some very questionable decisions when it comes to policing Palestinian events with regards to Israel, for example. Can you give me some concrete, proper examples recently of racism in our police?
Yes, quite clearly. Where a young black man was stopped, and he's well known. I'll give his name, Farron Paul. And because Farron Paul would not give up his name to the police, they decided to take him back to the police station and strip search him, right? Because he didn't give up his name and personal details. But if you're stop and search, you don't have to give out any personal details. Now, I'll give you another one. Again, where the young man, Jordan Walker Brown, who ran away from the police and got tasered in the back when he was trying to climb over a wall. It ended up with him falling over the wall, breaking his back. Now he's paraplegic. Now we got Child Q in the school. Again, she would have never been strip searched if she was a white girl, right? So these things happen time and time again.
Look, Kelly, I absolutely get your point, and I must say, it's not the first time we've spoken. I love our discussions, and I really, really do respect what you have to say. But, you know, can you really say that she wouldn't have got stopped and searched if she was white? I mean, apparently she stunk of weed. I mean, obviously we don't know that I wasn't there, but that was the reason behind it. I mean, do you think it was just a black... And also, we don't know that the police in that situation weren't black, Ken, do we?
Yeah, no disrespect, but if I on the train or on the bus and someone has got a bag of weed next to them or left the seat and I sit in that seat and it comes on me, I can get off that bus. I could be stinking of weed and I could be stopped by like British Transport Police at one of the dog searches, and I could be flagged up to be searched. Now, again, what it says quite clearly in the police procedure, that the smell of cannabis alone is not sufficient ground to be searched. Now, Child Q, for example, the teacher had searched her before they called the police in. So what was the nature of the police coming in? And even if they did find a small quantity of weed on her, what would that mean? It should be treated as a health issue, not as a criminal activity. She was a child. So what were they expecting to find on her?
Yeah, well, yeah, weed, I suppose. But Ken, thank you very, very much. Ken, really great stuff. You sound fantastic way to start the show. Appreciate you coming on. You're always absolutely box office. And, hey, look, you know what? Well, we don't have to agree on everything. I really enjoy listening to what you have to say. So thank you very, very much. Get on there. Of course, independent...
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me on your programme.
Chair of Haringey's independent stop and search monitoring group. Goodness gracious me, it's kicked off in the inbox. GBViews at gbnews.uk. Tweet us at GBNews. Right, time for the panel again. Dave, you ever been stopped and searched?
I haven't, but I wondered why Ken was in a playground.
I did think that. I think maybe he was trying to illustrate the areas where kids get stopped and searched.
Imagine how bad it would have been if he got stopped and searched in that interview.
Can you imagine?
That would have been proper awkward, wouldn't it?
During the interview.
Yeah, I mean, and he just motored on.
Motors on,
And he was like, well, this is the 126th time, isn't it? You know?
Leo, you look like a man who's been stopped and searched.
I have, actually, yeah. I've been stopped and searched a couple of times. I mean, I've been living in London for a while, so it just happens every once in a while in London. Also, I might have smelt of weed. But yeah, I mean, I used to be a criminal intelligence analyst, and
oh gosh, hang on a minute. Yeah, you were a police officer
in Haringey, not police. I was CDRP, so we got paid more money. But
what was CDRP mean?
Crime and Disorder Reduction Partnership. So across police and health and council and everything.
So you were like the craze.
No, doing it for...
Sounds like your money,
government.
mate.
Yeah, for the government, not for the
thugs. Yeah.
So basically, Ken makes an important point that, like, I mean, I don't think stop and search is racist, or why aren't they going after Chinese people? You know what I mean? Why aren't the Chinese community complaining that they're being stopped and searched? So it's not based on race. I mean, it's based on certain demographics are overrepresented in crime. But the point that Ken makes that is very interesting is that if you stop and search people, then you're more likely to discover wrongdoing. So me, as a white guy, is much less likely to get stopped and searched. So I could be doing the same amount of crime and not get caught.
OK, interesting. And just before I come back to you, you're uniquely placed to answer this, I suppose, really. You know, do you think that there's police officers look at a black person in this country and think they're more likely to be doing something wrong?
Possibly.
You can't say.
Possibly. I mean, honestly, the Met is nowhere near as racist. It's not the 80s anymore. So, you know, post Stephen Lawrence, the Macpherson report, they're much more linked in with the community and with community engagement. As you see with Ken, he's on a monitoring group to make sure that engages with the police and the community to make sure that the police aren't unnecessarily targeting people. Because it is horrible when you get stopped and searched when you haven't done anything wrong. It's demeaning. Everybody's looking at you. So I can understand why people don't want it. And if you feel you're being targeted for your skin colour, then that's got to feel absolutely horrible and not make you want to, it's going to turn you away from being a good citizen.
No, I'm not saying this about Ken, because I would never say such a thing about Ken, because I know this isn't true. Dave, do you think a lot of people who are against stop and search are against it because they don't want to get caught for doing something wrong?
Well, you know what I mean? Funnily enough, when I was smuggling all of that stuff in here...
Thank you for that, by the way.
That's all right.
That'll keep us going for days.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, because you know what? I think the police look at me and they think, like, I couldn't take him. I'd have to have a whole bunch of people to take him out, and that's why they never stop and search me.
No, exactly.
But I'm purely off the radar, though. I don't know. What would you like? At any one time, do you reckon you could? I would be more scared to have my WhatsApp read out to a group of people than I would to be stopped and searched.
Would you actually?
Oh God, yeah. The amount of things you got on your WhatsApp. Oh.
Well, there was a WhatsApp exchange that you and I had, which we might at some point play out, but we will move on from that.
That could come up in the segment about the penis museum.
It could. We do, by the way, have a segment on the world's largest penis museum. Grammatically, a very incomplete sentence, that, isn't it?
Yeah, is it a museum for the largest penis? Or...
Stay tuned, people. Find out. After the break, find out whether I'm still on course to lose 1.5 stone in 2 months as I get ready to dance with the Dream Boys. They are indeed male strippers. And I'm doing it for charity. It's all for charity. We're going to be giving you the link to the Just Giving page very, very shortly as well, so you can donate. Now, we've not really plugged it massively this week. I basically, last week's show, really. Well, we're already way over 2 and a bit grand. So thank you very much, everybody. We would like to hit 50. We've got a couple of months. We've got loads of time. But anyway, I will be bringing you this week's instalment of Challenge Christys. So here's a question for you, OK? Just to keep you interested over the break. What does the Japanese word judo mean in English? Is it A, fighting with honour, B, only the brave, or C, the way of gentleness? I'll bring you the answer in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and you can join me every weekday 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr. Me and my panel will get stuck right into the day's events, and I can tell you, in fact, I can warn you, expect some robust debate, some strong opinions and perspectives from both sides of the fence. It's about you at home as well. I love to read out all of your comments, or at least as many as I can. So join me, Michelle Dewberry, Monday to Friday, 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr.
On radio, they call it the drive time slot, 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. as listeners head home. It's that part of the schedule when the dust of the day's events begin to clarify, and we try to make sense of it for you. Brazier is drive time for radio and TV. It's fast, it's punchy, it's opinionated, there's a Brazier angle and a little bit of levity.
That's the question. That's two questions, actually.
That's Brazier, Monday to Thursday, 4 till 6 on GB News.
Hello, I'm Patrick Christys.
And I'm Mercy Moroki.
Make sure that you join us Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. until midday, right here on GB News for To The Point.
We're not afraid to talk about the topics that matter to you or the big topics that always matter.
We cover absolutely everything, from the breaking political stories of the day to law and order, what's going on in the channel. We're not afraid to hold people to account.
We always make sure we include your views on our show.
Indeed, if you're thinking it, you can guarantee that we're saying it. So make sure you join the conversation with us, 10 a.m. until midday, Monday to Thursday, for To The Point on GB News.
I'm Dan Wootton. Join me Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 for the feistiest and most fun news debate on TV, where free speech reigns. I'll bring you a sharp take on the day's biggest stories, bombshell newsmaker interviews, and A-list guests. And I guarantee you, no spin, no bias, no censorship, and no reason to go to bed. That's Dan Wootton tonight, Monday to Thursdays from 9 on GB News.
Welcome back to Friday Night Feast. Now, before the break, I asked you, what does the Japanese word judo mean in English? Is it A, fighting with honour, B, only the brave, or C, the way of gentleness? And the answer is C, the way of gentleness, which I'm not really sure I agree, given what I was doing this week. Let's have a look. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, just before we get to it, last week we launched a Just Giving page to raise money for the mental health charity Mind, OK? As I continue my weight loss journey. Now, there's a lady who gets in touch every single week on the email called Sue Harris. Sue, thank you very much. She is always incredibly derogatory about my weight. I'm yet to see a picture of you, Sue, of course, but thank you very much for, yet again, fat-shaming me in the inbox. I can't repeat what you call me.
There's a confusing... she signs off with a confusing... She describes you as a Waitrose Darren Grimes.
Which I think is a compliment.
Yeah. That's a step up from Darren Grimes.
It's saying I'm better... No, I don't agree that I'm very good friends with Darren Grimes, of course, but if you called me a pound shop Darren Grimes, Sue, then, oh, goodness me.
I'm saying, because I love... People always say that. I love a pound shop. So I'd love to be a pound shop anything.
Well, I think pound shop is...
Right, we need to move on. We need to move on. I feel like we've lost focus here. Now, I've been blown away by your generosity. Let's get that Just Giving up again there. I can have a look at the link here. So it's justgiving.com/fundraising/Challenge Christys. We're over 2,300 quid, 2,365 to be precise. Thank you so much. Please, 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 put your hand in your pocket if you can and donate. It's justgiving.com/fundraising/Challenge Christys. We're trying to raise 50 grand, OK? There's a chap called Nathan Dunn who's walking from John O'Groats to Land's End barefoot, trying to set a world record. He's doing it for Mind, OK? So we thought we'd hop on board with that. Now, if I lose 1.5 stone, OK, in 2 months, then I perform live on stage with the Dream Boys, who are, yes, male strippers, and we'll just try and raise as much cash as we can. I'm not above humiliating myself in the name of charity. Right, OK, yes. Well, without further dither and delay, it's time now for Challenge Christys. It's the part of the show where you, my loyal viewers and listeners, set me a challenge and I prove I can do it better than anyone. Well, if you've got a challenge for me, email me at patrick@gbnews.uk. And I promise you, I've got some absolute corkers coming in the next few weeks. But now, let's get to this week's challenge. I've already had a go at boxing. Goat yoga was an experience. Irish dancing was fantastic. Wrestling, I thought, brought me to life. And show jumping. You name it, I've done it. And this week, I was challenged to take on Olympian Ashley Mackenzie and junior champion Henry Wakes at Judo. Yes, this is how it went.
Oh, guys, honestly, I am so late for this one. I'm so sorry to whoever's organised this. Anyway, whatever. Welcome to the latest instalment of Challenge Christys. This is the bit where the viewer, the listener, you get to challenge me to do something, and I prove that I can do it, well, phenomenally, really. I'm in Camberley this week, not 100% sure what's going on. When am I ever? I appear to be at a Scouts hut in a council estate. So, let's find out. It's not judo with fully grown men, is it? Flipping heck. Okay, all right. How we doing?
Oh, you're here.
Yeah.
What time did you call this?
I think I might be in the wrong place. I thought I was just coming to some little backstreet judo place, kids about, you know, little kids class.
No, the kids were on the last class. This is the adults class now.
So I've missed the kids class.
Yeah, so first of all, you're late.
I am late, to be fair, I am late.
You're in trouble for that. And Henry, what is he wearing?
Well, I just thought people did judo wore pyjamas, so I just wore mine.
Henry, go and get my judo kit, please.
Well, do I have to fight?
Yes, us.
Okay.
So you have a white belt.
Oh, but that's like the special one for
yeah, beginners.
Wait, okay.
So
how do you know I've never done this before, mate?
Because I can tell. This is a very small belt for a very small.
I think we're gonna have to start from the back here.
Take it with 2 arms.
Yeah.
There we go.
I got in 5 minutes ago and I'm already about to get beaten up.
Yes, you are.
It's like Weatherspoons.
Big knot.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Why are you two different colour?
Well, this is many years of experience.
Yeah, but hang on. I've seen them on eBay, mate.
Okay. Right. So if you want to try to take it off me now, let me see what happens.
Just touch it.
Go on.
Whoa! Oh!
What I think is a good way to get into it is by learning how to land, because we're going to end up putting you on the back of your neck. So, what we're going to do quickly is called a rolling breakfall. Now, Henry is really good at this.
All right. So I'm going to step forward with my right leg, I'm going to roll down the side of my arm, and then my left hand is going to slap the mat here.
Goodness me.
Slap the mat.
And you slap the mat, and that's just because it's like naughty mat.
Watch this hand here, yeah? So as I'm controlling him, and as I throw him here.
Flipping heck. Right, okay.
He's going to slap the mat with it. So we're just learning how to fall, okay? So your first one is a rolling break fall, okay? So you know how to do a roly poly?
Well, no.
So all 3 of us together. Let's stand in line.
Oh, this is nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to do our right foot first.
Foot.
We're going to roll on him,
Over.
and as we roll on it, we're going to slap
the mat
with our left. Okay,
okay.
ready?
All right, lads, I'll try not to show you up too much on this, all right?
1, 2, 3.
Do I get one of these belts now or not?
No. We're going to put our arms across us, and
Right.
all you're going to try to do is from here, roll backwards and slap the mat with 2 of your hands. So from here...
Like that, okay.
Slap the mat.
Do you ever shout, hee-yah?
No, go hee-hee.
Hee-hee.
Yeah, go hee-hee.
Hee-hee. Just throw...
Slap the mat.
Put my knees.
Palm your hands, slap back.
And
get head.
chin in as well.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I do need a hand up.
Struggle. Try to be more... How can we say?
Nimble.
Elegant.
Elegant. How can we say more like... With the groove, you know? Imagine using that W's.
I'm the kind of guy who walks up to girls and asks me if they want to sit down.
Wow. As we do it, roll gently.
Oh, okay.
Slap the mat.
Okay, all right. Roll gently and just slap the mat.
There we go. So this is where we throw. So this is one of my favourite techniques. It's called Taitoshi. You say it?
Taitoshi.
Take the lapel.
Yep.
Okay. My left hand, you're going to take the bottom of the sleeve and turn it like a doorknob, opposite way.
Right, yeah.
So from here, I'm going to turn it, okay? And stand to the side that I've got the lapel on. My foot goes across. Okay, now it's really important as I throw my partner, and when I pull and push with the lapel, is to make sure you keep hold of this, because this is what stops their head from banging, okay?
Do you not want to... Okay, yeah, you don't want to
their head to bang, because you always want to throw them, arm lock them, or strangle them to win in judo.
Obviously, yeah.
From here, all I'm going to do is I'm pulling, pushing, and I'm
heck.
keeping hold. I'm going to do this to you, so you stand here. What? What?
Do I have to do this? It's every week, do you know what I mean? Every week I've got to just do some colouring in or something. I've got this geezer, he's nuts. Right, okay, go on.
All right, so you're...
Great. Jimmy!
Is that all right?
That is actually decent. Well done.
Oh,
okay, now, you've learnt the technique, okay?
I'm going to hold on to your lapel. I'm going to hold on to your sleeve.
Okay.
I'm going to turn to the side. Now, let's going to go wide across. Yeah? So we're going to do it on the count of 3.
You smell lovely.
Thank you very much. I'll try. 1, 2, 3.
Not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, I can't use this anymore, but I mean, yeah, apart from that, it's all right.
As you come underneath, I turn, so now my back is on their chest. As I do the bend, I go up, across, turn.
Ab it. Like that, yeah, got it. Okay, yeah. So just remember, so I'm grabbing there. I'm sorry, I'm there, and then, sorry, like that.
Twist the hand, yeah.
Yeah, and I did watch it, but I just got very nervous. And then under here.
Yes.
Underneath your own arm.
Oh, underneath my own arm.
Yeah.
And then across.
Turn your back.
Oh, sorry about your foot. And then just...
Bend a tiny bit, yeah. Lift him up, and go. Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to hurt him, though, you know what I mean?
Nice! Well done. Well done. So,
I feel...
we've got one more technique.
I feel like a man.
Well, step to the side.
Yeah. Bosh! Let's leave a lapel. Like that.
Hello.
So the opposite of what I did, right? Yeah. And then come to the side of you.
One more time.
Bosh.
Better. No, that was good. Okay, we should let one of your producers throw you. We have got Christina, the producer. So, let's go. Just phone, please. I've had enough of him.
What? I can't throw you. Hang on a second. I'm going to say, this is a stitch-up. This is how I get sacked, isn't it?
No, you're not throwing her. She's throwing you.
Oh, have a day off, mate.
Oh, so, remember what I taught you, okay? She already knows one of the techniques, okay?
How?
What do you mean
because
how?
you was late.
Because you was late. You know how to land in all situations.
Yeah.
Good luck.
No, this can't be right, surely.
I'm the referee, all right? Okay. Ready? Jimmy means go and Mate means stop, okay?
So if I just keep shouting, Mate, then it's over.
I'm Jimmy. And I just want to let you know, that's the end of the session. Thank you for coming.
See you next week.
Next week? No, you won't be seeing me next week, mate. It hurt quite a lot, that. But anyway, hey, at least I've tried judo now. That was a lot of fun, of course. And if you're listening on GB News Radio, you can watch that challenge right now on our YouTube channel. It'll also be on Twitter as well, at GB News, and the GB News Facebook page. So don't miss it. Right. Hopefully we might get Ashley at one point there. That was the chap in blue. But we have got Henry Wakes joining us now. Henry, thank you very much, my good man. Well, look, first and foremost, have I got a future in judo?
I'm not too sure. To be fair, you picked it up quite fast. How was your body the day after?
Absolutely in bits. I stood up, I forgot. I woke up the next morning and I got out of bed, like, you know, did my stretches, just stepped out of bed and just crumpled into a puddle of myself afterwards. But, Henry, I thank you very much for being so accommodating and for showing me the ropes. I understand you've got a tournament tomorrow, is that right?
Yeah, I'm currently, I don't know if you can tell, this is a bed rest. I'm in a hotel room in the middle of Dubrovnik in Croatia. I'm fighting in a European Cup tomorrow. So, yeah.
What time is it over there? Are we keeping you up?
No, it's only an hour ahead, so don't worry. I've weighed in. I've got a full belly, so I'm a lot happier.
Fantastic. Right. OK, well, look, you are an absolute specimen, it's fair to say. I mean, you were tossing me around for fun, and certainly I gave it a good go myself as well, but I wasn't quite at your level. Why should people get into judo?
Judo's fun, like, for all levels. I know, obviously, you land on the mat and it looks like it hurts, but as you can see from yourself, it just tingles your hand a little bit. It gets you involved with other people, socialising. There's the discipline side of it. And especially for young kids as well, just learning how to fall properly, which, I mean, not many people learn how to fall properly just in life. But you're learning how to defend yourself as well. And then you've also got competition side of it. You've got the fun side and you've also got the competitive side. You can take it as far as you want. You can be it can be your hobby, or it can be you try and go to the Olympics. So you can take it as far as you want to take it, and that's hopefully my aim of going to the Olympics.
No, I'm sure you'll get there, because just tell people a little bit about what you do all day, every day, and where we were at that site. So it was in Camberley, wasn't it? But you actually live there. This is your entire life, isn't it?
Yeah, it literally is. I live and breathe judo. I train there two or three times a day. We live on site. There's probably about 15 of us, and then there's other people that travel into the judo club as well. But there's about 15 people that live on site, and then I'd say another 5 people. There's probably about 20 people that train full time, and we'll do technical sessions where we try and improve our judo. We do strength and conditioning sessions, so weights or circuits, running, rowing, that sort of stuff. And then we also have sparring sessions. So we do a lot of training, let me tell you that.
Absolutely. Well, look, hopefully it pays off for you. Good luck tomorrow, Henry, mate. We'll all be rooting for you here at GB News, and thank you so much for being so accommodating. That's Henry Wakes there, future Olympic gold medalist. Now, the other chap in that video there was Ashley McKenzie, and unfortunately we had a couple of audio issues, Ashley, but I believe we can see his rather handsome face, at least, and say hello. Ashley, I'm so sorry, mate. Apparently we can't hear you, but thank you so much for a wonderful day. I know. The reason why I've muted you is because I know that you don't like me, and I don't want you to slug me off on national television. Anyway, all right. You take care. Right, look, both Ashley and Henry joined us there for a little bit. Right, now, regular viewers and listeners will know that as well as the weekly challenges that you come up with, I've set myself my own challenge. I've got to lose 1.5 stone before I perform with the Dream Boys, male strippers. And yes, it's all for charity. So, 2 weeks ago, you saw me strut my stuff with these male strippers, fine specimens of men. And if you're watching GB News on TV or our YouTube channel, I'm sure you'll agree that I've got some pretty good moves. But when it came to the big moment, well, to be honest, I absolutely bottled it. I'm determined to get slimmer, and I'm weighing myself every Friday. I was just over 15 stone, 3 pounds, 7 days ago. I started out 2 weeks ago at 15.8, I think it's 15.8.5, actually. Anyway, check out what happened a little earlier today as my wonderful producer, Tatiana, tried to help me with my weight loss plan.
So, Patrick's challenge to lose weight and diet started a couple of weeks ago. He's been doing really well. He's finding it a little bit tough, so I've just prepared a little salad for him. I'm going to go and check on him now. He's in the change room. I think he gets a bit... he doesn't really get a lot of energy when he doesn't eat as much as he used to. So let's go and see how he's doing. Patrick! What the hell are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Patrick! You're meant to be on a diet, mate.
I'm just not happy.
Mate, you're doing this for charity. It's not about happy. What are you doing?
Can't we just fake it on the scale?
We can't fake it on the scale.
Fake it on the scale. You stand on them or something. I lost those.
What have you got?
I've got Percy Pigs, and they go really well with tea cakes. And what's unusual, right? Not a lot of people know this, is that the onion ring crisps, right? They actually go well as a combination. It's like sugar tapas. You're really disappointed in me, aren't you?
I don't have any words.
Oh, not the salad again.
I'm not
Not
mad.
the salad again?
I'm not mad at you, mate. I'm just really disappointed. Really disappointed.
Yes, get in. I've lost nearly 4 pounds. I've lost nearly 4 pounds. This is amazing. Yes, get in. All right, okay, look, my epic weight loss journey continues. I'm as surprised as you are, frankly, but please donate to my Just Giving page, because remember, I'm losing weight, and it's all for charity. Right, there you go. We're giving you the details how you can donate very, very shortly. Yeah, so, right, since 2 weeks ago, well, just under 2 weeks, I've lost 8 3/4 pounds, I think. Yeah, it's about right. All right, this is the most insincere clap ever. The look of a man who's never had to lose weight in his life.
It's one of my jobbies.
Oh, good grief. Right. Thank you for your emails and tweets. This is, of course, person Pat. Karine from Manchester's been in touch. Well said, Patrick. My grandfather is called George. My father is called George. What do you reckon her son's called? George. I'm very proud to be English. My bunting of the English flags will be fluttering in the wind tomorrow. Good on you. Good on you. And Rax on Twitter says, I've got Union flag flying high in my garden. We are Great Britain. And we have so much to be loud and proud of. Right, OK, so these views so far have all been in relation to what I said right at the start of the show. So it's St George's Day tomorrow. Happy St George's Day, everybody. And I wondered why patriotism's become a bit of a dirty word, right? I think it's been taken over by the wokerati. We can't say we're proud of this country anymore without also apologising for things that our ancestors may or may not have done. And I find that a bit rough. Anyway, Madge on email said, of course it should be, let's just stop and search, of course it should be allowed. If the searched person has not committed any crime, they have nothing to worry about. The police must be allowed to do their job. And Susan on Twitter, if people are not doing anything wrong, then they have nothing to worry about. Stop and search. I kind of agree with you on that one, to be fair. And Deb on email has just said, I think you are lovely and cuddly. So, thank you very much. Deb, clearly you've never met me. I'm actually very rugged. Anyway, right, OK, there's loads more to come on Friday Night Feast. I'm going to have a good rummage around your parts, you heard. I'll let you, meet the latest national treasure. And we'll try to rehome a rescue dog in our Dog of the Week feature. Fingers crossed this one doesn't bite. Don't go away. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hello, good evening. I'm Stephen Keats. I've got your latest Met Office forecast. A bit more cloud for some of us through Friday, and as we go on through tonight, generally speaking, increasing cloud across particularly the south. It will be quite windy as well, with an increasing risk of seeing a few showers across the south as this cloud invades in from the near continent and the North Sea through the course of the early hours of Saturday morning. Not mounting to much the showers, but one or two nonetheless. Further north, it's mostly dry and clear for the bulk of northern Britain, but the north of Scotland will continue to hang on to a lot of low cloud half threat here. Chilly in one or two rural glens across Scotland, but most of us not desperately cold. High pressure to the north then on Saturday, low pressure to the south, which means for the vast majority of the UK, it's a brisk east to northeast wind. So going to be quite a gusty old day out there. You'll certainly notice it if you're out and about. And it will be a fairly cloudy start to the day across the southern half of Britain, from about northern England southwards. A few showers around. One or two of these could be quite heavy as we move on through the morning into the afternoon. The odd heavy, possibly thundery one for parts of South Wales, southwest England. Elsewhere, though, plenty of sunshine come the afternoon, again away from the far north of Scotland, where they stay rather grey and misty, and pleasantly warm, although temperatures are notched down on what we saw through the course of today. The breeze will take the temperatures back down that North Sea coast, and also then through Saturday evening will continue to feed in a bit more cloud, as there will be across parts of southern England, English Channel, where another clutch of showers will work their way westwards, ending up across Devon and Cornwall by the early hours of Sunday. Elsewhere, it's a fairly clear end to the day, again aside from the far north of Scotland where there will be some coastal mist and murk. So early showers on Sunday, then soon clearing away from southwest England, and then it's a mostly dry day once again, so the weekend's not looking too bad for the most part. Sunny spells, a bit more cloud from time to time, the odd shower across northern England. Just the far north of Scotland stays rather grey and murky. And again, in the sunshine, it's going to feel pleasantly warm, highs of 17, 18 degrees. High pressure takes charge into the new week, lots of fine weather around, quite a lot of cloud at times, eventually turning just a bit cooler.
Hello, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and you can join me every weekday 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr. Me and my panel will get stuck right into the day's events, and I can tell you, in fact, I can warn you, expect some robust debates, some strong opinions and perspectives from both sides of the fence. It's about you at home as well. I love to read out all of your comments, or at least as many as I can. So join me, Michelle Dewberry, Monday to Friday, 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr.
On radio, they call it the drive time slot, 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. as listeners head home. It's that part of the schedule when the dust of the day's events begin to clarify, and we try to make sense of it for you. Brazier is drive time for radio and TV. It's fast, it's punchy, it's opinionated, there's a Brazier angle and a little bit of levity.
That's the question. That's two questions, actually.
That's Brazier, Monday to Thursday, 4 till 6 on GB News.
Hello, I'm Patrick Christys.
And I'm Mercy Moroki.
Make sure that you join us Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. until midday, right here on GB News for To The Point.
We're not afraid to talk about the topics that matter to you or the big topics that always matter.
We cover absolutely everything, from the breaking political stories of the day to law and order, what's going on in the channel. We're not afraid to hold people to account.
We always make sure we include your views on our show.
Indeed, if you're thinking it, you can guarantee that we're saying it. So make sure you join the conversation with us, 10 a.m. until midday, Monday to Thursday, for To The Point on GB News.
I'm Dan Wootton. Join me Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 for the feistiest and most fun news debate on TV, where free speech reigns. I'll bring you a sharp take on the day's biggest stories, bombshell newsmaker interviews, and A-list guests. And I guarantee you, no spin, no bias, no censorship, and no reason to go to bed. That's Dan Wootton tonight, Monday to Thursdays from 9 on GB News.
Right, welcome back to Friday Night Feast with me, Patrick Christys. And if you're only just tuning in, where the heck have you been? Right? You've missed me taking on an Olympian at judo, and some would say winning, most people would say getting battered. But don't worry, it'll be all over our social media page. Head to GB News' Facebook and YouTube pages right now to watch that. And in the next hour, we'll be discussing the flirting tactics scientifically proven to be off-putting. And we'll also be live to Iceland. That's right. Friday Night Feast has gone global, ladies and gentlemen. We're big in Reykjavik. We're going to speak to a curator of the world's first penis museum. There's the weirdest stories from the last 7 days as well, from Round Your Parts. And we'll also try to rehome a rescue dog in Dog of the Week, which, I'll be honest with you, is a bit of the show designed to make us feel better about what's gone on before that in the show. But anyway, that's all after the news headlines, brought to you this evening by the very tolerant and patient Ray Addison.
Everything he said is true. Thank you, Patrick. I'm Ray Addison in the GB newsroom. Downing Street says the Prime Minister is not among those fined for a number 10 bring-your-own-bottle garden party. It's reported several fines have been issued to people who attended the event that took place on May the 20th, 2020. MPs have ordered an investigation into lockdown breaches, but the PM is confident he will keep his job. Liberal Democrat MP Christine Jardine told GB News the investigation could lead to Boris Johnson's suspension.
We're in uncharted territory here because the Prime Minister has never before been in a situation where they've been accused of breaking the law and investigated by Parliament. That could lead to a by-election in his constituency if he's suspended for a period of time. And that would be unprecedented.
Madeleine McCann's parents have welcomed the news that a formal suspect has been named in her disappearance. Portuguese authorities are investigating 44-year-old convicted sex offender Christian Bruckner in connection with the case. Kate and Jerry McCann say even if the possibility is slim, they've not given up hope that Madeleine is still alive. The 3-year-old was taken from her hotel room during a family holiday in Praia da Luz in 2007. An officer who worked on the original case, Jim Gamble, told GB News Bruckner raped a woman in the same area 2 years earlier.
He was involved in burglaries of hotel rooms and apartments, and we know from the cell site analysis that a phone attributed to him places that phone, and we hypothesize him, in direct proximity to the apartment at the time the offence took place.
United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is visiting President Putin in Moscow on Monday. It comes after the UN said there's growing evidence of war crimes, with Russian troops indiscriminately bombing populated areas, killing civilians and destroying hospitals. Meanwhile, the World Bank estimates that the war in Ukraine has caused nearly £47 billion worth of damage to buildings. President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country needs £5.4 billion a month to make up for economic losses. President Macron says the choice facing French voters is similar to when US voters elected Donald Trump. Earlier, his opponent, Marine Le Pen, was out campaigning in the north of the country. She says the public must choose between Macron or France. President Macron accuses Miss Le Pen of being far right and says her solutions are not viable. Opinion polls currently put Mr Macron ahead on over 55% of the vote. And coronavirus infection levels have fallen across the UK for the first time this year. The figures from the Office for National Statistics suggest that the recent surge in the Omicron BA2 variant has now peaked. We're on TV, online and on DAB+ radio. This is GB News. Now let's get back to the very naughty Patrick.
Well, hello there. Welcome back to Friday Night Feast. Now, I came across this story today about the world's first penis museum, but enough about the kind of thing that I normally search on Google. Before the Icelandic Phallological Museum in Reykjavik was opened, there had been some small collections of penis bones, which many animals have, apparently, but not a more comprehensive collection of all these different types. A few well-endowed humans have promised to donate theirs when they die. Now, the founder, Sigurður Hjartarson, once said, "Some people collect stamps or rare coins. I chose instead to collect the phallus." Someone had to do it. No, you didn't have... Anyway, whatever, fine, absolutely. Joining me now is his colleague, Thordor Thordarson, who is the curator of this particular museum. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Why do you have a museum for penises?
Well, it's not that we're a particularly phallic culture. It's just, well, our founder likes to push people's buttons. And, well, it's become a thing. It's popular.
I think it's a great idea. Can you just walk our listeners or our viewers through just the different array of penises that you've got?
Well, we have well over 100 species of mammal and over 350 actual penises and, well, phalluses or phallus items. And, well, up to almost 600 cultural items and pieces of art. So, yeah, it's an impressive collection, I think. And as far as we know, we're verified as having the largest collection in the world.
OK, yeah, good. And as it stands, though, you are missing one crucial item. Is that right? You have not got a human penis.
Oh, yes, we do. We do.
We have... so when did this happen? When did this happen?
Well,
because I thought you were on the lookout for a human penis, weren't you?
Well, we were, but in 2011, we got a human penis from a 95-year-old Icelandic scoundrel.
A 95 what? A 95-year-old Icelandic what? Sorry.
I guess you could call him a scoundrel. He was a well-known
what does that mean? Was he? What does that mean? What describe this man to me? I can only see a certain little bit of him now.
Well, he was an entrepreneur. He was a pioneer in the tourist industry, and he claimed to have bedded over 300 women in his time.
Gosh, okay, wow. And I take it he's got a big penis?
Well, at about 75 years of age, usually the penis begins to shrink. And he was 95. Then it keeps on shrinking.
Devastating news. Hang on a minute. Oh, to be fair, it's all right. I'll probably be dead by then anyway. Right, okay. But seriously, I'm intrigued to know how you got into this because, you know, look, hey, there's loads of different museums, loads of different things. Your one happens to be about the phallus. Why? Why did you decide to work there?
Well, it's not the kind of job you apply for. I married the, founder's granddaughter.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. So you're a part of the family. You're a part of the family. Have you got, of all of the ones of all the different mammals and all those things, have you got a favourite?
Well, at the moment, I guess I could say so, yeah. The walrus.
Walrus?
Mostly because of the reaction it gets.
Why the walrus?
Well, people are surprised at how... extremely big and, especially for an animal of that size. It's a big animal, but it is an extremely large penis. And, people are happily surprised when they see it, I'd say.
Not the size. OK, all right. OK, well, that's Thordar Thordarson. Yes, and we'll just give him a round of applause for that. Thank you very much. I tell you what, this was brilliant. So he's a curator there at a penis museum in Iceland, which is a phrase I never thought I'd say on national television. Go into journalism, they said. You know, you have all these worthy intentions. Maybe you want to be a war correspondent. Maybe you want to break hard-hitting political stories. No, instead I went to Reykjavik to talk about a bloke who collects penises. But, actually... well, I'll tell you what, it's something different, isn't it? Don't get this on the BBC. Leo, your thoughts?
I can't believe I've only got 30 years left of having a massive penis.
Good gosh, Leo Kurtz, everybody, never knownly undersold. Dave, your thoughts?
My penis trivia. Did you know in ancient Greece, actually a small penis was better?
Well, no.
This is true. Go on.
They said it meant you're more cerebral.
No. It was a large penis was a sign of wastage. Therefore, if you had a large penis, you were weak. If you had a small penis, like I do, then that would mean that you were very strong, like I am.
That rule was written by somebody with a small penis. I can tell.
Well,
or a very, very understanding wife.
I'm sorry that I wrote that.
OK, right, OK. Now, on that note, actually, I want to talk about the F word. No, not that one. I want to talk about flirting, because it's a tricky one, isn't it, flirting? There's a very fine line between coming across as spontaneous, fun-loving, eligible, and just coming on a bit too strong. Well, the good news is scientists from the University of Nicosia in Cyprus I'm half Cypriot, so there we go, everything come from the Greek, have come up with the 11 most off-putting chat-up tactics. One of them, I imagine, is everything come from the Greek. Anyway, help us suss this one out. Now, their findings suggest that having a slimy approach, swearing, or being too touchy are tactics to avoid. I think, obviously, some of them are criminal, actually. Along with bad hygiene, narcissism, damn it, I'm out, and low self-esteem. Sorry, Dave. Right, so who knew? But who better to join me than love coach, author and TV personality, the one and only Nadia Essex. Hey, there we go. Nadia, thank you very, very much. Right, OK, so, talk me through it, right? Are you a good flirter?
Yeah, of course. But it's about, like you said, knowing when it's appropriate to be tactile and touching, when it's not appropriate, and also when somebody's not that interested. You know, a lot of guys, especially after a few drinks, they can't take the hint. You know, we're at the bar being like, OK, yeah, trying to turn away, and they're like, let me tell you about this story, and I'm not interested.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm a little bit the other way round, actually. I'm very bad, and, well, historically I've been very bad anyway, at telling when someone's been flirting with me. And, you know, all of the one times that that's happened, I didn't pick it up at all, to be fair. But, so the things that this survey says are, or study, I should say, are bad, right? Slimy approach, bad hygiene, lack of exclusive interest, right? So what, for you, what do you think some of the worst things are? I mean, what is a slimy approach?
It's when they look at your boobs and not your eyes.
Oh, fair enough.
You know, and they're kind of sort of keep looking down, and it's all very, you know, the innuendos. It's like, I hate it when if you're at dinner and, you know, you're just reading the menu and you're like, oh, what are you going to have for a starter? I don't know. What are you going to have for a starter? And I'm like, ew, ick. No, this is, I'm hungry. I'm asking you a genuine question. I don't want everything to be an innuendo about,
absolutely,
it's like,
absolutely.
It's normal.
No, absolutely. Like when someone tells you they've got a PhD. Bad hygiene, of course, is one of the worst ones as well. And, you know, do you think this is a big... I mean, because the way that I look at it is, if you smell bad, goodness only knows what your kitchen looks like.
Well, and also, I'm a teeth person. And I'm like, if you can't take care of the teeth that are on your face, then I can't imagine much care goes into what's in your pants. And that, I don't even want to know, like, because that's on your face. If you can't be bothered to brush your teeth.
Yeah, no, we get it. Yep. Good.
Not for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Interesting as well, stinginess. Now, talk me through this, because I once had a mate who I won't name, Tom, and he was saying, oh, look, you know, he's really struggling to get past the first date. He's a decent-looking lad, he's an intelligent lad, he's successful, you know, he's all right. There was no obvious reason... He's funny. There was no obvious reason to me why he was striking out all the time. And I said to him, I was like, OK, right, just talk to you. What happens at the end of the date? So he's thinking these are all going well. And he thought, well, the bill will come, right? And he said, I'll give them the opportunity to pay half. And I thought, hang on a minute. The opportunity to pay half. He was like, women don't like to be condescended. They don't like to think that, this is a patriarchy and a stereotype. I was like, just pay for a dinner, mate. Just pay for a dinner.
Force them to pay half.
No, don't force... Leo, I'm coming to you in a minute. Right, I'm coming to you in a minute. We're back to Nadia. Nadia, pay the bill, right, as a bloke?
Pay the bill. It's not condescending, it's romance. Can we we've got to get past this whole, woke... Oh, no, we don't want to condescend women. It's not condescending. Men there's still a gender pay gap. So when women and men get paid the same, then maybe we can have a discussion about who pays the bill and having it more equal. But men pay the bill. And if you can't afford the bill, don't take them to that restaurant. There's plenty of local family restaurants, really, really cheap. And if you've got a voucher... No problems. Everyone loves a bit of a discount, but go and say you're going to the toilet. Go and pay the bill with your voucher away from the table.
I agree. I agree. Well done. Thank you very much. I tell you what, and hold the door open for her on the way in and the way out as well. No, I'm very lucky. I've got a girlfriend at the minute, and I must say, even though we've been together, I know, all right, hard to believe. And I must say, even now, we've been going out for close to a year, and even now, if she pays a bit of the bill, which will happen, or the bill sometimes, I do feel a bit squiffy about it. But obviously, it's after a year, things have got to even themselves out at some point, Nadia. But okay, all right. Can I ask, if you don't mind, what's some of the worst chat-up lines or one of the worst experiences you've had?
It is all of those things. I mean, it's very much about hygiene. That I've been on dates with people and they've walked in and when the clothes smell of damp.
Yes.
I can't, and that's all. And it's the type of smell that goes right up your nose, and you just can't. You forget about the smell, and then you'll get another whiff of it, and it's like I can't. You're never going to get a second date if you don't. Hygiene is really important because again, if you don't have any self-care, how are you going to have any care for me? If you can't look after yourself, how are you going to be able to give me a nice relationship and offer me a nice life and enhance my life and make dating you a really good thing? I don't want to go home smelling like an old pair of granny's tights.
No, exactly. I mean, that was my perfume, really, during the university days. But there we go. Nadia, thank you very, very much. Nadia Essex there, love coach, author, TV personality, friend of the channel, friend of the show. I thought that was absolutely fantastic and very informative. Now, Leo, I know that you've recently got married, but do you have any horror stories from the dim and distant past when flirting hasn't gone to plan?
I mean, obviously, I think with men, you get a lot of rejection. It's the numbers game. You've got to...
you have to, yeah.
I think, I mean, now it all seems to be on apps. But I'm old enough to remember when you actually walked up to women and tried to chat them up in real life, when obviously there's much more chance of rejection and public rejection as well.
Yeah.
So that was more fun. But I always used to just say, I came over here to chat you up because I fancy you. My name's Leo, and take it from there. Because I think some men try and make it all inveigle their way in, being friends and stuff. And it's no, just say that you fancy them.
Yeah, it's hey, yeah, well, are you a polar bear with very heavy feet? Now we've broken the ice. Anyway, Dave, how are you with the ladies?
Terrible, but I'm happily in a relationship. I like how you earlier on said I'm currently in a relationship.
Oh, just good. No,
really enjoyed that.
It's a matter of time before she calls.
Really? Yeah. I disagree with the paying the bill. My partner earns so much more than me. An insane amount.
Does she hold the door open for you as well and pull your chair up?
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
No, I agree with Dave as well. And I think if you pay for someone's dinner, number one, why are you going for dinner on a first date? That's the most awkward thing that you can't get out of. Go to a museum or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Go for a walk. Go
a penis museum.
Yeah.
He's got one in Reykjavik as far as I'm aware. Yes,
the weird guy, yeah.
Well, it's still on the line, actually, Dave. But no, he's not really. He's not. Don't worry. Right, OK, after the break, I'll have a good look around your parts. But I just want to re-emphasise charity, OK? So I am losing 1.5 stone in 2 months. I've already lost the best part of a stone, by the way, but it does just show how greedy I was. You can see the link there on the screen. I've just got to look and read it there. Justgiving.com/fundraising/challenge Christys. That's justgiving.com facebook.com/fundraising/Challenge Christys. Ladies and gentlemen, I gave you that link about 20 minutes ago. We've already raised another 250 big ones, and it's for the charity Mind for male mental health. Hey, look, all joking aside, you know, it's a light-hearted show here. We like to have a laugh. We like to kickstart your weekend. But, mental health is no joke, people. Every single day, 12 men take their own lives. Suicide is the single biggest killer of men under the age of 45. And if you can spare it, I know things are tight at the minute, hey, the cost of living crisis, we're all cutting our cloth. But if you just got a few quid, please go to our Just Giving page, justgiving.com/fundraising/Challenge Christys, right? And let's help save some lives, people, OK? It's important stuff, this. So please, if you can, give us a few quid, all right? So I'm going to be joining Nathan Dunn, who's walking from John O'Groats to Land's End barefoot, trying to set a world record for it. I'm going to be walking some of that barefoot with him. Hopefully we're going to be following him along the way as well here with some of our reporters at GBNews. And once I've lost the weight, ladies and gentlemen, I will be turning into an officer, a gentleman, actually. I'm performing a striptease, thank you. I'll be performing a striptease with the Dream Boys. So, hey, look, come on. I'd like to think I'm doing my bit here. Please, give us a few quid. Right, but up next, OK, we are delving round your parts to expose the best of the local news stories that this week had to offer. It features an upside-down woman, a sex toy and a mankini. It's highbrow stuff. Don't go away.
Hello, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and you can join me every weekday 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr. Me and my panel will get stuck right into the day's events, and I can tell you, in fact, I can warn you, expect some robust debates, some strong opinions and perspectives from both sides of the fence. It's about you at home as well. I love to read out all of your comments, or at least as many as I can. So join me, Michelle Dewberry, Monday to Friday, 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr.
On radio, they call it the drive time slot, 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. as listeners head home. It's that part of the schedule when the dust of the day's events begin to clarify, and we try to make sense of it for you. Brazier is drive time for radio and TV. It's fast, it's punchy, it's opinionated, there's a Brazier angle and a little bit of levity.
That's the question. That's two questions, actually.
That's Brazier, Monday to Thursday, 4 till 6 on GB News.
Hello, I'm Patrick Christys.
And I'm Mercy Moroki.
Make sure that you join us Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. until midday, right here on GB News for To The Point.
We're not afraid to talk about the topics that matter to you, or the big topics that always matter.
We cover absolutely everything, from the breaking political stories of the day to law and order, what's going on in the channel. We're not afraid to hold people to account.
We always make sure we include your views on our show.
Indeed, if you're thinking it, you can guarantee that we're saying it. So make sure you join the conversation with us, 10 a.m. until midday, Monday to Thursday, for To The Point on GB News.
I'm Dan Wootton. Join me Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 for the feistiest and most fun news debate on TV, where free speech reigns. I'll bring you a sharp take on the day's biggest stories, bombshell newsmaker interviews, and A-list guests. And I guarantee you, no spin, no bias, no censorship, and no reason to go to bed. That's Dan Wootton tonight, Monday to Thursdays from 9 on GB News.
Yes, OK, well, thank you, welcome back. It's time for Patrick's Hat Trick, when I show you my 3 favourite videos from social media over the last 7 days. So we start with a bizarre clip featuring the Transport Secretary, Grant Shapps, who has announced more than 1 million train tickets will be reduced this spring. So a warning to our viewers that you're about to see some absolutely dreadful acting.
Okay, rolling. I want to tell you about a great offer coming to you. It's the Great British Rail Sale, offering over 1 million advance tickets to passengers with up to a massive 50% off. Why not take a trip to Edinburgh to take in the sweeping views from Arthur's Seat? Or if it's sea and sand that you want, well, head to Cornwall with its stretches of beautiful sand and crashing waves. Or visit the Lake District, the land of dancing daffodils and full of love from Wordsworth's paradise. Or come down to London for a bit of retail therapy. You know, we've had 2 years of living life virtually. It's time to get real and visit our beautiful country.
And cut. Where's he going?
I mean, that made me want to stand in front of a train, to be fair. It was absolutely horrendous. I mean, gosh, I mean, is that the best he's got, Grant? Is it? I mean, politicians and acting, Leo, they don't tend to go together hand in hand, do they?
No, but I mean, I think the whole point of this video was it was supposed to look cheap. Because it looks like, you know, well, he's saving money at a time of national. We've got to tighten the purse strings. He spent like 60 pence on that advert. To be honest, I'm not sure what they spent it on, but it was clearly produced for not very much money.
Yes, you're not. I take it you're not a massive Grant Shapps fan.
I'm not a massive fan. I'm not a massive fan of like politicians trying to be cool.
Yeah.
I don't want my politicians to be like Insta-talk people. Like, just do a good job.
Nadine Dorries.
Just do a good job.
Nadine Dorries, who's, you know, the media person at the minute, she was saying, she did a video yesterday, hey, when you're downstreaming your videos, it's like, oh gosh. And Rishi Sunak, all he does is just wear a hoodie. That's what constitutes cool now. Yeah. Although I did enjoy one of the most toe-curlingly awkward and awful interactions that a politician has had, where Rishi Sunak was at school, right, and he had a can of Coke in front of him, and he was like, drinks it, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm a Coke addict. And everyone was like, what? And he was like, yeah, no, Coca-Cola. It's a flipping heck, Rishi.
And then he got stopped and searched.
Then he got stopped and searched, yeah, absolutely. But of course, we all know why that was. Anyway, right, next up is a clip from a nightclub where it got rather heated for a man having a drink. Here we go. I don't know what was happening to that woman in the background there, but, yeah, I mean, that's just idiocy, isn't it? We're going to rattle through this. Let's do the third and final part of Patrick's hat-trick, and it features the former world heavyweight boxing champion, the one and only Mike Tyson, who was once known as the baddest man on the planet. Let's have a look at this.
Tyson, bro.
So, he's on a plane. There we go. See, someone thinks they're being clever. I mean, Mike Tyson's just chilling. Look at him. There we go. And if you're listening on radio, I'm just describing it to you. Of course, an individual is behind him. What's he got in his hand there? I think it's a bottle, isn't it? A bottle, something like that. And he goes to kind of just hit Mike Tyson with it. And then, for some reason... There he is. Mike's kicked off. Mike just starts absolutely battering this lad. He's 55 years old now, but he clearly still packs a punch. Yeah, so in case you just missed that video, basically a fellow passenger on a plane decided to wind him up, and basically Tyson just reverted back to typical Mike Tyson type and did him in on an aeroplane. Now, Leo, are you a big boxing fan? You ever been fisted in the ring?
Yeah. I've been... somebody fisted me in the face.
Yeah.
It's another word for a punch. Fisted me so hard it hurt my teeth.
Gosh. But why was that? Do you think he deserved it?
No, like, I think this guy clearly deserved it.
Yeah.
He's sitting behind... He paid business class to get away from people like this. This guy was a total trailer trash scumbag. Why is he in business class? Surely some sort of ticketing error here.
Yeah.
He should have been thrown off the plane mid-air. I think it's ridiculous.
Do you get punched a lot?
Surprisingly not. But that's the Grant Shapps video that I would watch.
Oh.
It's Mike Tyson versus Grant Shapps on a train.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Snakes on a train with Grant Shapps and Mike Tyson. I'd love that.
Yeah, I'd like that as well, actually. Yes, no, I agree. Right, OK, well, that was Patrick's hat-trick, 3 viral video clips from this week. But now it's time for Round Your Parts, where we dig deep to find some of the absolute gems of local news from around the UK. Let's localise it. So first up, and imagine the surprise of shoppers in the Tesco store in Broadgate Heath when they spotted actor Tom Hardy browsing the aisles. There we go. Look at him. Yeah, OK, that's right. One of the candidates to be the next James Bond was seen at the checkout. That's a classic local news story, isn't it? Like, famous man does thing in place. You know, I mean, Harry Styles once, when he was going out with Taylor Swift, and I was up at the old local Westmoreland Gazette, shout out the Westmoreland Gazette in Cumbria. It's a good paper. Yeah, Harry Styles got on a ferry with Taylor Swift, and the newsroom just erupted. And before you know it, we had to get out and basically all it was a picture of Harry Styles on a ferry.
Yeah.
That's what it is. People just go mad for it, don't they?
But they are pretty famous, and they were in Cumbria.
Yes.
So, I mean, my local paper was always, which wasn't far from Cumbria, so that would have been Dumfries and Galloway Standard.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was always, the front page was like sheep get head stuck in fence or something like that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I wanted a story about a man who refused to turn his clocks back when the clocks went back because he thought he was living in the future. I mean, this is the thing, and the editor was like, the best was the big cats. Every time, every year there'd be a big cat issue, right? And someone would call in, you know, Maureen from Barrow has got in touch, and she thinks she's seen a lynx in the woods. And my editor, Mike, is absolute legend, this guy. But he'd go, right, Patrick, big cat's back. I want you to go out there and I want you to find it. So, what, just drive to the woods, Mike? Just drive to the woods, and what happens if I do find it as well? Do I just, like, tame it and bring it back to the office, you know? But anyway, I don't find a big cat, but
what you do is you drive to the zoo, take a picture of a lynx and say, I found this near Tesco.
Exactly, his head would have exploded.
Somebody won, like, we had a village fete every year in my village, and they had a photo competition, nature photo competition. Somebody won it with a photo of a stuffed owl. A stuffed owl, and it only got discovered like a month later when somebody was like, wait a minute, those aren't eyes, those are buttons. It was literally like that.
This is fantastic. Right, we're moving on. There's this brilliant story from North Shields in the northeast of England. A woman ended up stuck behind a sofa upside down with her legs in the air for 10 minutes. I imagine that happens quite often in North Shields, actually. But the Newcastle Evening Chronicle reported that Lindsay Clark was enjoying a bottomless brunch when her friend's jacket fell behind the couch. She reached out to pick it up, but that's when the trouble started. So, gosh, I mean, is there a video of this? Yeah? Do we think that was unlimited refills, do we? I reckon probably unlimited refills there.
It's like whack-a-mole, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But like a very specific one. I like that.
Well, there you go, in a compromising position with two men trying to pull you. That's a normal night out for you, isn't it, Dave?
Davina, please.
OK, yes, fair enough. All right, no further comment, clearly. Yeah. Right, let's head to Stockport now. It's near my neck of the woods. Let's love a bit of Stockport, where a mother was forced to do some quick thinking when her child found a sex toy on the pavement. What? So, there we go. Bethany Keane was walking a dog when her son Zach came across a bright pink object in the middle of the street. She had to explain that it was not a toy for children.
What, was it chess or something?
No. Bethany said, it's probably not the first time I've seen one on the street.
What?
We're very proud to live in Edgeley.
Well, what was it?
Why?
Well, it's a sex toy.
Yeah, but what sex toy? There's more than one.
Is there?
Possibly not, Dave. But, Leo, any chance that was one of yours?
Well, no, because I've never been to... Where was that? Stockport?
Edgeley.
Edgeley? No, I've never been to Edgeley.
I think you'd go down well in Edgeley, to be fair. It's kind of got a bit of your humour in Edgeley.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is it? Is it northwest?
Yeah, northwest Stockport.
Stockport?
Yeah.
What's Stockport near? Manchester?
I don't know, it's got a hat museum. Yeah, it's near
It's got a hat museum?
Yeah, it's got a hat museum.
So Iceland's got a penis museum, Stockport's
got a hat museum.
You know what they've got in Cumbria?
The pencil museum.
A pencil museum.
Keswick, actually.
Keswick.
I'm trying to outdo me on my Cumbrian geography, my friend.
Wow.
I'm all over it. Right, our final story the week comes from Knowsley Park on Merseyside. A young family was shot when a man wearing just a bright green mankini strolled past them. So, good grief. Mankinis were made famous by Sacha Baron Cohen's character Borat. And Zoe Alexander said one of her daughters asked her, what is that man wearing? To which she replied, not very much. I think it's fantastic. Which one of you must have worn a mankini at some point?
Yeah, I got a mankini. But of course...
There we go.
Wearing one now. But I think this goes back to your point that you made at the start of the show. Why are we not more proud of this nation? Mankinis, sex toy on the street, a woman with her legs up in the... I think this is great. This has made me more patriotic than any St George's Day
I don't
ever.
think the mankini is British.
No, but a lot of people wearing them are.
Really?
Yeah, that's true. It's a very stag do thing, isn't it?
Big time. Why? Where do you think they're from?
I think they're from... it's got to either be California or somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we'll find out. I'm sure the researchers are beavering away on what the origin of mankini is. But, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for this. Right, so yes, postperson Pat, I just read out some of your wonderful comments. So, David via Twitter. Was there stiff competition for this guy's job? That is, I believe, in relation to the man who is the curator of the Penis Museum in Reykjavik. So, see what we did there? Mary on email. Somebody has probably already suggested this. If you're struggling on your diet, but if not, do you like popcorn? It's really low in calories, about 30 calories per cup or so. Less than an apple. Thank you very much, actually. I appreciate this. And I must say, right, it's really nice to see people actually taking an interest in my diet. I was out at a meal the other week, and first and foremost, this is no word of a lie. I promise you this is not made up. I'd had a starter, I'd had a main, and I ordered tiramisu for a dessert, which came over to me and landed on my table, and a bloke who I've never seen before in my life got up from the other side of the restaurant, walked over, picked it up, and told me I was supposed to be on a diet.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And then he said, if you do it, and if you do lose 1.5 stone, he was with a group of people, if you lose 1.5 stone in 2 months, we will all donate 10 quid each.
Oh, so you're a viewer. I thought he just looked at you.
Thank you very much. You sound just like Sue Harris. Anyway, Mary on the email. Oh, no, that was Mary's one. Yes, thank you for the popcorn tip, Mary. Cheers for that. Emma Jane on Twitter. Can we please find out if they rehomed the biting dog? That was hysterical.
Sorry, it's now in some Tesco's.
No. That was the horse we tried to rehome. No. Well, look, Emma Jane, I've got an idea what might have happened to Forrest by now, but we are... I nearly said we're a family show, but we've just done a penis museum bit, haven't we? So there we go. Jeanette and Gary in the Cotswolds. For once, we OK, all right. For once, we disagree with you. We think Grant Shapps' video is actually quite good and down to earth. Fair enough.
Yeah.
OK.
Well done, Jeanette and Gary. I agree.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, of course you do. Yeah, but your main thing was you thought it was cheap.
Yeah. Was that respect? He's the sort of man who'd make a date pay for their dinner.
Oh, I like him for that.
Yeah. Not even go half. Make them pay for all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
If they got the lobster, they're paying lobster money.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, say you're welcome at the end of it and never call them back. Anyway, oh, no. Sue Harris. So if you're just tuning in, I have weirdly... well, I mean, it's not my nemesis. I don't care about Sue Harris.
What did you do to Sue Harris?
Sue Harris is a lady. She's a member of the public, and she absolutely hates me, right? And the bile that comes out of this lady's mouth towards me...
Didn't she used to work with you at the Westmoreland Gazette?
No, there's an NDA on that. But, no, Sue is very disparaging about my weight, to the point where she says a lot of words beginning with F and not all of them fat. And she's every week, she even digs me out on Twitter. But it does mean she's watching, to be fair. So this one is from Sue Harris. Are we all right to read this one out, lads? Because they're normally pretty... bad. Here we go. Would you do me an enormous favour and clarify that the Sue Harris who you mentioned earlier is not the Sue Harris who lives in Foss Lass? I would never be as horrible to you as I think you're lovely. So this is a different Sue Harris. Lovely stuff. Well, thank you very much, Sue Harris. This Sue Harris. Sue Harris number 1. The other one could be Sue Harris number 2.
I want to hear more from the other Sue Harris.
No, you don't, mate. She didn't mean about you as well.
What she said about me?
Can't say it, mate. Can't say it. Can't say it. Anyway, right, OK. Thank you very much for everyone who's been emailing in. Postperson Pat, great stuff. But I've been out and about getting reaction from people to my fake news story this week. Everyone gets an opinion on this show. So here we go.
Right.
Hello.
Son, these guys want to chat to you. They want to ask you, what's your name?
Do you think that we need... Do you think that we need a new national anthem?
What's that about?
Huh? Oh, hello, you.
Hello, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and you can join me every weekday 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr. Me and my panel will get stuck right into the day's events, and I can tell you, in fact, I can warn you, expect some robust debate, some strong opinions and perspectives from both sides of the fence. It's about you at home as well. I love to read out all of your comments, or at least as many as I can. So join me, Michelle Dewberry, Monday to Friday, 6 till 7 on Jubes and Kerr.
On radio, they call it the drive time slot, 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. as listeners head home. It's that part of the schedule when the dust of the day's events begin to clarify, and we try to make sense of it for you. Brazier is drive time for radio and TV. It's fast, it's punchy, it's opinionated, there's a Brazier angle and a little bit of levity.
That's the question. That's 2 questions, actually.
That's Brazier, Monday to Thursday, 4 till 6 on GB News.
Hello, I'm Patrick Christys.
And I'm Mercy Moroki.
Make sure that you join us Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. until midday, right here on GB News for To The Point.
We're not afraid to talk about the topics that matter to you or the big topics that always matter.
We cover absolutely everything, from the breaking political stories of the day to law and order, what's going on in the channel. We're not afraid to hold people to account.
We always make sure we include your views on our show.
Indeed, if you're thinking it, you can guarantee that we're saying it. So make sure you join the conversation with us 10 a.m. until midday, Monday to Thursday, but to the point on GB News.
I'm Dan Wootton. Join me Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 for the feistiest and most fun news debate on TV, where free speech reigns. I'll bring you a sharp take on the day's biggest stories, bombshell newsmaker interviews, and A-list guests. And I guarantee you, no spin, no bias, no censorship, and no reason to go to bed. That's Dan Wootton Tonight, Monday to Thursdays from 9 on GB News.
On Mark Dolan Tonight, my Mark Meets guest is the legendary British athlete Fatima Whitbread, who grew up in care homes and made it to Olympic glory. Hear her incredible story at 10. In The Big Question, do you still trust the media? We'll hear from all sides on that one. And in the news agenda with my panel, how worried should we be about the economy? Do you read online reviews? And is it time Britain's women went makeup free? And in my big opinion, I'll be dealing with Prince Harry. See you at 9.
Welcome back. Now it's time for this week's edition of Patrick's Fake News. When I make up a story, I ask the great British public what they think of it. This week, I report that the national anthem will be changed once the Queen dies. So fake news, I just said, look, hey, the national anthem's going to change. Here's how it went. Apparently, when the Queen dies, we might get a new national anthem. Hopefully she never dies, of course. Your thoughts on our national anthem?
I love the existing one. Why would we want a new one?
I don't know, apparently they want Paul McCartney to write it.
I don't care who writes it. I like the present one. I'm a traditionalist.
I couldn't care less. Do you know the last one?
I don't see what's wrong with the old one.
Yeah.
It's just that we update it every time we lose a monarch to a king or a queen.
It's not that difficult, is it? It's just one word.
Just one word and change it. We're all done.
Paul McCartney might write it.
Don't care.
OK.
Well, I think it's an English anthem. I think we should have Land of Hope and Glory.
It's absolute shout. What about Jerusalem?
Jerusalem's fantastic, yeah, of course. Well, I'm a rugby man, so...
Yeah.
Jerusalem's fantastic.
The rumours is that Paul McCartney's going to write the new national anthem.
I tell you what, forget him. I'll write it.
I'd look... Do you want to give one a go?
What do you want to hear, mate?
What, your new national anthem?
Of course, you're a tenner.
Dave, you're an incredibly gullible man. Do you reckon you'd have fallen for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I said, Paul McCartney's going to be recording the new national anthem and everything. How do you actually feel about our national anthem?
I think we should do it like every Bond movie. We get a new Bond
Nice.
song. Do it like that. Every time there's a new Bond film, we get a new national anthem.
Oh, so not when we get a new monarch, just when we get a new Bond?
Yeah.
OK, all right, won't ask you why. Your thoughts on the national anthem? Does it make you proud?
I quite like that. I think the Bond should sing the national anthem. I think that should go even further with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, from national anthems to national treasure. That's right. It's time now to meet this week's national treasure. And tonight we're meeting Eva Hamilton, the founder of crime prevention charity Key for Life. Now, Key for Life have branches in London, Somerset and Bristol. They've helped more than 500 prisoners and young men at the risk of committing crime to find jobs. They say 2/3 of people who use the service find a job, and they reduce youth reoffending and tackle antisocial behaviour, all-round good stuff. So thank you very, very much. I'm delighted to say that Eva joins me now. There we go. Eva, fantastic. As always, our national treasure gets a round of applause, a big one. Well done. Fantastic. Congratulations. Congratulations for all the fantastic work that you do. I set up this feature because I wanted to give a bit of credit to people who many people, certainly nationally anyway, wouldn't have necessarily heard of, right? So whether it was going to be some kind of like a lollipop lady who's been active and never taken a day off in 75 years, all the way through to people like you who essentially save and improve lives. So, Eva, thank you. Well done. What inspired you to set up Key for Life?
What inspired me was in 2011, do you remember the riots? And I've been doing this kind of work for a long time, I suppose, for about over 30 years. And in 2011, when I saw children as young as 8 rioting, I realized something had to be done. So in actual fact, I then decided with all my kind of different charities I'd run, I'd put a brand new model together, which I did, a 7-step model, and I took it to New York, and I went out to meet gang leaders in Harlem and the Bronx. And amazingly, the gang leaders all said, love it, bring it to America. And I said, no, actually, I'm going to bring it to Bristol. And that's where I started it. And I brought it into a young offenders institution called Ashfield. And I thought I was going to get lots of lovely young 15 to 18-year-olds, but I actually ended up with the toughest gang leaders in Britain, who showed me no respect whatsoever for the first half an hour. And then I'll explain in a minute, until I brought the horses in, and I bring horses into prison, and then the same men, children, were hiding under their chairs, and I realised at that point, that I had something quite special, actually.
This is incredible. I mean, I've got so many questions. So, were you not a bit scared meeting some of America and then, to a lesser extent, Bristol's biggest gangsters?
Yeah, no, I was, I have to say. I think I definitely was, because the kids in Bristol in particular, there was gang warfare going on there.
Oh, right.
So even my pen I brought, they nicked my pen and made it into a weapon. So yes, I was, I would say. But yeah.
No, sorry. No, I just, you know, anything that wasn't glued down there, I suppose. No, but seriously, though, what really made you want to actually kind of do this, really? Because this is tough, right? This must take, hours out of your life, have a potential toll, I would imagine, maybe at times, perhaps more so at the start, I don't know, have had a toll on your mental well-being as well, and it's an incredibly selfless thing to do. And some people, don't they, just say, hey, you know what, this lot, lock them up and throw away the key. But you're obviously not like that, are you?
Well, that's kind of you to say that. I would say it was strange, actually, when I was 18. So, yeah, I had grew up in Ireland, had a fantastic parents, was very lucky. Went to Mother Teresa's. I started there in the home for the dying. And I had what some people would call a calling, that I was never going to make a lot of money and I was here to serve. And I was a pretty wild, wayward teenager at that point. So I didn't really know what that meant. And then 3-4 years later, this woman found me, and she happened to be working for Prince Charles. And Prince Charles very kindly, when I was 23, asked me to set up a program for him, taking business leaders into the inner cities. And it was called Seeing is Believing, and that's where my career really started. So I'd go into the toughest housing estates, homeless projects. I'd even go and meet people, terrorists, you name it. And the Prince of Wales, we'd take him with us, and then business leaders would report back to him. So that's where it all started.
So Prince Charles meets terrorists?
He doesn't meet terrorists.
Oh, OK, right, good. I was just going to say that to me, I could imagine a security team not being too happy with that. But, I can imagine a security team not being too happy with that, is what I was thinking. But, OK, right, Eva, we haven't got too much long left, but tell us, if you can, if it's even possible, actually, tell us two things. A, why on earth you've got horses and where do you get them from? But B, also, what's your biggest success story?
Well, I think the biggest success story is getting a load of guys out of prison straight into the city, working in amazing jobs in the City of London. Some of them are in insurance, investment banking. They're doing awesome jobs, having never worked or no one ever given them a chance in their lives before. And I think my only other one is what I'm doing at the moment, which is tackling one of the toughest housing estates in London, White City Estate. And we are currently coming up with a blueprint to tackle knife crime. So I've managed to infiltrate a whole load of gang leaders and gangs, and I've now got them on side with us, and we're now trying to get them into work. Yeah,
brilliant.
And the young ones.
Brilliant stuff. Well, Eva, you got a clap on the way in, and you're going to get a big one on the way out as well. You are this week's national treasure. Thank you very, very much. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. You're an exceptional character. So thank you very, very much. That was Eva there of Key for Life. Right, OK. It's time now for one of my favourite parts of the show. It's Dog of the Week, yes, where we try to rehome a rescue dog. And tonight, we're asking if you could give a loving home to Patch. Now, there he is. Oh, look at that little face. Look at that little face. Patch is a 5-year-old bull lurcher. He's very playful. He's very affectionate, he's a very active boy, and he enjoys going for long walkies. Now, Patch loves his home comforts and enjoys a snuggle in his duvet bed in the evenings after a day of walks, training and play. Well, joining me now, I'm very pleased to say, is Shelby Tunstall, kennel assistant at Teckles. Thank you so much. I mean, you must have fallen in love with Patch. I think everyone else has as well.
He is, it's lovely. I don't understand why he's still there.
I know. So what's his story? Come on, talk us through it.
So he came to Teckles, I think around 2 years ago. He came from another charity who was struggling to rehome him. He just wasn't getting the attention. So we're hoping maybe a fresh set of eyes. Hoping he would attract a fresh set of eyes coming to us. So he's been with us, and unfortunately we've had no luck. But he is an absolutely beautiful boy. I'm not sure if maybe it's the mixture of the breed. So kind of people who like lurchers. He's not lurchery enough, but he's not bully enough for bull breed lovers. I'm now getting distracted by the video of him.
No, I honestly, you should hear. Sorry, I don't know if my microphone was up then or not, because it was apparently. Okay, well, the nation has just heard me whimpering at the sight of Patch. Then there we go. There's three of us in the studio, Dave and Leo, and Leo's got a heart stone, but Dave was. I've
got to say, like, most of the dogs you have on this show look like an absolute nightmare.
Brilliant.
That is a really nice dog.
That's a top quality dog.
Really nice. He's just so nice.
Absolutely. Well, sorry, I was a bit too busy cooing at that video to hear everything that you said just there. But, so, right, did you say anything about, was he good with kids and stuff like that, or not?
So we would ideally want an adult-only home for him just because of his size. And when he gets excited, he does a lot of zoomies. And he doesn't realise how big he is. But our problem is we need a home with no other pets because he gets a bit anxious and overstimulated if he sees other dogs. So out when he's on walks, he's had walking friends, and we're pretty confident that when he's adopted and he's settled into his home with introductions, he can have friends to walk with, but he needs a home where it's adults only and he'll be the only pet.
Look, that's absolutely fair enough. That's not an uncommon thing at all, right? If you go up and down, anyone who's watching this or listening on radio or watching online, you go to any dog's home, anywhere in the country, so many of those dogs will be adult-only home, must be only pets. So don't let that put you off for a single second about wonderful Patch. And do we know, where he came from originally? How he's ended up there?
We don't.
No idea.
We just know he came from another charity, but we don't know his story from before then. So it's very limited information. We just kind of have to work with what we found out in recent years.
OK, and is he quite food motivated, food orientated? Which makes him, I suppose, easy.
Food motivated, as I'm sure you can see on half of these videos. So pongs, slow feeders, food enrichment, destruction boxes he's doing now.
Destruction box, I love that. It sounds like I call my flat the destruction box.
No,
fantastic. Right, OK, so I really want Patch, but I just can't have a dog at the minute.
Have him.
I can't do it. I've got a one-bed flat and I'm here all the time.
I think he'd need walking.
He'd need walking, yeah. I mean, fair, we could maybe trade him to look after me, to be fair. I mean, I think we'd need that. But,
no, that's what Leo was saying. You need walking.
Oh, I need walking, yeah, absolutely. Right, OK, now, please tell us how we can get in touch. People watching this now, they'll want Patch. How can they contact you?
So, Patch is at Teckles Animal Sanctuaries in Whitminster, Gloucester. If you head to our website, www.tecklesanimalsanctuaries.co.uk, if you go onto Dogs Rehoming, him and all of his information is on our website. And we do our adoptions through online. So if you head to the page that's How to Adopt, and we ask you to send us an email, the email address is on the page along with all of the information that we ask you to put in the email. And from there, we will find him the best possible home.
Yes, you will. Fantastic stuff. I tell you what, that's a top-quality dog of the week. Thank you very much, Shelby. Shelby Tunstall there, kennel assistant at Teckles. And, lads, I'm going to bring you in now. The panel, Dave Chaughan and Leo Kearse are with me. You're very much a dog man.
Oh, I love dogs. I think dogs are better than humans. And I've said this before, but I have read numerous articles saying getting a dog can boost your mental health and reduce stress. I've never read an article saying having a baby can boost your mental health and reduce stress.
Yeah, when's the child due?
October the 6th, and I believe it's going to be human.
Fingers crossed.
Not a dog.
No.
So
No, but you're obviously ecstatic about the whole thing.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to having a human animal, human baby.
Good.
Although I'm not so much a dog. I prefer rodents like capybara, gundu, degus, gerbils.
I've only ever heard of one of those.
Gerbil, was it?
Yeah, it was gerbil.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, I really hope. Look, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, you know, we are just honestly just trying to rehome a rescue dog, right? We really want you to be the first person to rehome one of our rescue dogs. Okay, look, we'll have to write Forrest off. Okay, Forrest was a nightmare. Forrest, it's questionable whether or not.
But this
he should have a home.
This dog looked like, and honestly, once he's settled, he probably could deal with other pets and things.
This is that Patch. I think that dog. That was the. I don't. You don't want to have favourites. But I think he was probably the best dog of the week that we've had.
Shameless.
He had a nice face.
And a lovely face. He had a kind face. Right, OK, moving on for the dog. Right, OK, so now, ladies and gentlemen, as many of you will be aware, I'm not sorry to keep plugging this, OK, because genuinely, we are trying to save lives. So, I am going to be doing my challenges every single week. You know the drill by now. And a couple of weeks ago, I went to the Dream Boys, which are, yes, male strippers. Now, I was in the worst shape of my life. I had a body like a bag of milk, as I've said many times. Built like a dropped lasagna, and I decided, look, something had to be done about it. So I set myself a challenge: lose 1.5 stone in 2 months, and then go live on stage and perform with the Dream Boys, all the while raising money for charity Mind. Now our target is about £50,000. We don't like putting a target on it, but it's about £50,000. The reason why we chose Mind is friend of the channel Nathan Dunn, who's an out-and-out hero. This guy. He's walking from John O'Groats to Land's End bare feet, OK? And we are going to be following him a fair bit of the way. I'm going to be walking every bit of the way. Now, this donation page, yes, it is there below me, justgiving.com/fundraising/Challenge Christys. Already on today's show, we've raised more than 500 quid. We're up now to 2,806. Not a bad effort, this, ladies and gentlemen, because that thing went live last week. I've not really been plugging it in the week. Probably should have done, to be fair. So, yes, thank you very much, everyone. Keep this money coming in if you can. Let's save lives, OK? Mental health doesn't need to be as traumatic as it is at the moment. Right, OK. Has anyone got a taxi for Christys? I think it's that time.
Taxi for Christys.
I tell you what, it's been an absolute whirlwind tonight, hasn't it? This was the week that Jesus was spotted walking down the street carrying a cross made from beer crates. There we go. As the row over Partygate rumbles on, a new branch of Wetherspoons opened in central London. And the BBC Sports website's coverage of Wednesday's game between Chelsea and Arsenal was hijacked by one fan. I don't know about you, but I'm not sure that there is a Mike Oxmall in Penistone. There we go. Thank you, Dave Chorner. Thank you, Leo Kurtz. What a rock star panel that was. Thank you at home, everyone who's getting in touch. Donate. justgiving.com/fundraising/Challenge Christys. Come on, get your money out. Give it all to me. I mean, the charity. Anyway, coming up next, it's time for the brilliant Mark Dolan. See you soon.
Hello, good evening. I'm Stephen Keats. I've got your latest Met Office forecast. A bit more cloud for some of us through Friday, and as we go on through tonight, generally speaking, increasing cloud across particularly the south. It will be quite windy as well, with an increasing risk of seeing a few showers across the south as this cloud invades in from the near continent and the North Sea through the course of the early hours of Saturday morning. Not mounting to much the showers, but one or two nonetheless. Further north, it's mostly dry and clear for the bulk of northern Britain, but the north of Scotland will continue to hang on to a lot of low cloud half threat here. Chilly in one or two rural glens across Scotland, but most of us not desperately cold. High pressure to the north then on Saturday, low pressure to the south, which means for the vast majority of the UK, it's a brisk east to northeast wind. So going to be quite a gusty old day out there. You'll certainly notice it if you're out and about. And it will be a fairly cloudy start to the day across the southern half of Britain, from about northern England southwards. A few showers around. One or two of these could be quite heavy as we move on through the morning into the afternoon. The odd